Well, next Tuesday's election could be historic for women seeking office and for Muslims. Michigan's Rashida Tlaib could become one of the first Muslim women in Congress. She's a Democrat running for the House in Michigan's 13th district. I sat down with her to discuss what it means for her and for Muslim Americans across the country.
The first thing that I think about when somebody says you're going to be the first Muslim is celebrate this moment. We changed the course of history at a time we thought it was impossible. And that if you just believe in the possibility of someone like me, this is it.
While many have focused on her faith, Rashida Tlaib says this moment is so much more.
For it to happen at a moment where we really have felt this moment of darkness, at a moment where Islamophobia is such a high rate. Like, you don't have to read the Quran to love me. Love the actions, love the things that I do. Look at those, and that will help people get beyond whatever fear or stereotypical thing that they might be thinking about.
I will uplift you in so many ways, not only through service, but fighting back against every single oppressive, racist structure that needs to be dismantled.
Tlaib won her Democratic primary in August and is running in Michigan's 13th Congressional District. If she wins next week, she'll be one of the first Muslim women in Congress. What was the moment where it hit you?
I don't think it's hit me yet. I think people don't realize just how much of a roller coaster it is. And it's happy chaos right now. That's what I describe it as.
Do you believe that a Muslim wave is coming to Congress?
I don't know. I'm all for not waves. I'm all for owning the ocean. Not Muslims, but women. I am for women. The fact that I think women have been lacking in all parts of the industry, from not only public sector, the private sector. I hope that we understand that we need to own the ocean, that it shouldn't just be a wave. Waves come and go.
Tlaib joins the hundreds of women running for office this year. And like many of these candidates, she's also a mom.
Mama, don't do that.
She's a mom. She can't help but fix it. Tlaib was born in the mid-'70s in Detroit to Palestinian immigrant parents. Her mom, Fatima, says she always believed her daughter would live the American dream. How does it feel to have your daughter be the next woman in Congress?
God, give us. She thanks God for
thank God.
Thank God.
I'm the girl from Southwest Detroit that didn't speak English when I started school. I was my mother's translator until I was probably 12 years old, and I remember how people looked at her. I remember the different things that were happening to my family as we were getting, situated and buying our first home in Southwest Detroit, watching my mother learn how to drive for the first time. All of those experiences come with me.
She began her political career in the early 2000s, went on to serve in the Michigan State House of Representatives, and before her primary win, practiced law at a nonprofit.
Hanan's gonna be on the ballot one day.
Politics and seeking change, she says, was always her calling.
And you haven't sat on the sidelines, particularly when Donald Trump has come here, 2016, Detroit Economic Club. You weren't afraid to stand up to him. What did you do? What was that night like?
It was the first time ever that we had the Detroit Economic Club prevent us from asking questions. And it was important to us. I mean, this was somebody that was running for President of the United States. And I wanted to ask him, have you ever read the Constitution? Do you know anything about the U.S. Constitution? Because most of the things that he was talking about, to me, were following the core values of who we are and what's rooted in the Constitution.
And if she's proof of anything, it's that anything is possible. She won over voters in her district, which includes Detroit and surrounding suburbs, with a population of close to 60% African-American voters.
The late African-American political scholar Ron Walters once said that in politics, culture is fundamental. Can you really parlay what the African-American community wants and needs?
No, not in the same way as an African-American would, because my lens is different, right? But I have to honor and respect the fact that I'm not African-American in the United States. And growing up Black in America can be traumatic, can be so, the challenges that come with it is something that I'm not going to truly always understand. But I can surround myself with people with that lens and recognize that and honor that. That's what I'm going to do.
And the cause closest to her heart immigration reform.
Your eyes well up when you talk about immigration.
Yes.
Why?
So I went to a predominantly African American school. I didn't even understand like our immigration system. I knew my parents immigrated here. I think growing up in a community where your neighbors are impacted directly, it's hard. And talking about walls and separation and detaining children, I think the immigration system, we have dehumanized it.
Do you feel that the Democratic Party is transforming into something different?
I think everybody transforms, right, organically. I think it is a new time. It's a new era of the civil rights movement. It's time for a change.